Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask, Heidi. Today is Thursday. It is the, holy cow, we're halfway through August, 15th day of August. How did that happen? It's National Relaxation Day, National Lemon Meringue Pie Day. Do you remember when our son tried lemon meringue pie for the first time?
Yes.
And he loved the meringue part, and he was like going on and on about how great it was. So you try that? Can I have your meringue? Okay. Chant at the Moon Day. All right. I Love Cowboys and Cowgirls Day. It is National Acadian Day, National Back to School Prep Day. It is getting close, yeah. National Check the Chip Day. I don't know what that means. Leather Craft Day, World Greatness Day, Congo's National Day, and a couple other national days for other countries as well. But it's also a Thursday, which means we have a Dear John letter.
Yeah, we do.
And if you would like to submit your Dear John letter for next week, I'm down to this last one. I don't want to say it's not a good Dear John letter. It's an okay Dear John letter, but I'm just saying we didn't have much to choose from. So you can submit your Dear John letter today, and there's a really good chance it'll be selected for next week. I mean, really, really, really good chance. You can do that at the bottom of the page at johnandheidishow.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com. I've got two little statistics today, so it's not like a big story we're going to read. We're going to read these two statistics and chat amongst ourselves, like this one. 16% of adults say they only eat ice cream when it is hot outside. How about you, Heidi? Do you like ice cream year-round?
I'm not a huge ice cream. I mean, very rarely do I want ice cream. So
because there are times that I'm like, oh, wow, I sure could go for some ice cream. You want some ice cream? And Heidi's like,
it's just not my go-to.
You can get some if you want. And I'm
it's
like,
not my go-to snack.
Yeah, then I look like an idiot. I'm over here eating ice cream, and you're not. So, no, we'll skip it again.
If I'm going to indulge, it's usually French fries.
Yeah. And another little statistic here. 3% say they have not used a pen or a pencil in the last year.
Oh, I use them all the time.
Yeah, me too. But I can imagine, and because I'm...
Especially the younger generation.
Yeah, I can imagine. Nowadays you got phones. You don't necessarily need those kind of things. It's almost like Egyptian hieroglyphics to some people. So. Surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
That's bettercreditcards.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by Genesis Gold, IRA.com. Heidi, did you know if eaten in one meal, 30 to 90 grams of polar bear liver is enough to kill a human being?
No. Why would anybody eat polar bear liver?
Well, I'm just letting you know. So while you're doing your meal planning...
I will avoid polar bear liver in all future
No, you can
recipes.
have it. Just no more than 30 to 90 grams in one sitting. I mean, you don't want to go nuts.
Wow.
We don't know everything, but now we know this.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by radiosavings.com as The Simpsons prepares to launch season 36.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, Fox won't be the only place to catch the new episodes. Executive producers behind the show have revealed that 4 new episodes will exclusively air on Disney+. They include a brand new Christmas-themed 2-part series, Oh Come All Ye Faithful, premiering December 17th, the 35th anniversary of the very first episode of The Simpsons. The similarly themed Simpsons Roasting Over an Open Fire. That was 35 years ago. The other 2 episodes titled The Past and the Furious and The Yellow Planet will air in the months ahead. Disney Plus is where they're going to be as well. So that's kind of cool. But the thing is, Fox is owned by Disney. Disney Plus is owned by Disney. So a bunch of this stuff is all owned by Disney. So now I can understand where, again, that makes sense. It's not. Are you shocked? You were speechless, I saw. So
I
you don't
honestly,
care?
I haven't watched The Simpsons for so many years.
Thank you for that, Heidi. Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by radiosavings.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference, even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of bettercreditcards.com. A website recently posted a listing of 20 warning signs that tell you old age is on the horizon. And sadly, I don't have these 20 warning signs. Why am I sharing this then? I don't know. 20 warning signs that tell you old age is on the horizon. Is there anything that you've done in your life that makes you realize that I'm getting old?
Just knowing the number that's coming up this year for my birthday is...
Heidi turns 50, which is awesome. And she is turning 50 gracefully, by the way. I think that's awesome.
This birthday hasn't been hard for me. The hard one for me was 30 because I wasn't in my 20s anymore.
I remember
after that, it's all been, I'm already old.
Your 40th birthday, we threw a big party and it was a really fun thing. And I remember that it doesn't seem like it was 10 years ago. It seems like it was just the other day. The thing that I did that made me realize I was old, I was a wedding DJ for years. I tell this story as a comedian all the time, but I had a kid come up to me and ask me if I had 50 cent, and I reached in my pocket and I grabbed 2 quarters. It's like 50 cent. I'm like, is that a band? That's when I realized I'm old. And think about how long ago 50 Cent was out. That's how long ago I was old. And Dubai, already the home to the world's tallest building, now has the deepest swimming pool and the highest hotel, in hopes of adding the world's greenest highway as well. Urban design firm has released designs for a 64-kilometer-long road that would see one of the city's main traffic belts transformed into a green spine, complete with autonomous solar-powered trams and smart traffic management. Above the tram line, there's a network of green areas, parks, and overpasses. It would increase connectivity and walkability for the city. The highway would also integrate smart technology to manage traffic and optimize energy. 300 megawatt solar panels embedded in the tracks would power the tram line, plus generate clean energy for 130,000 homes. The green space will house 1 million trees, helping cool the city and improve the air quality. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I love the idea of putting the solar panels that's going to power 130,000 homes. What? Scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of bettercreditcards.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
All right, I'm going to put a plea out there once again for some lighthearted fun letters for the next week. I've had this one for a little bit now, and it's not that I didn't want to answer it. I wanted to answer it, and I did send a message to them right away. But I also said I've been trying to find some lighthearted things because I've had so many of these really heavy letters lately.
Right.
And again, I'm happy to help. And I will also say this. We've got some really good advice all the time from people like you. Yeah, you listening. You can chime in with advice at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And people do it all the time. And I think their advice is better than ours most of the time. I'm going to read the letter and then we're going to chime in. Here we go. Dear John, my wife and I are getting divorced because she had an affair. We have 2 daughters. They are 12 and 17. I know they will ask why we are getting divorced. Do we tell them the truth, or are they not ready for that at their age? My parents are still together after 40 years. My wife's parents are still together after 30 years. This will be the first divorce in both of our families. Part of me wants to let them know so they're not upset with me over this. But I also don't want them to hate my wife either. I'm upset that she did what she did, but I still love her. And she is a wonderful mother. What do you think? Any advice on this one? Signed, Divorcing Daddy. Oh, first of all, I'm sorry you're going through this. That is a tough question. They're 12 and 17. Heidi, what do you think?
I don't think I would air your dirty laundry to the kids.
Well, and here's the thing. I think I would talk to your wife and say, how are we going to explain this to the girls?
Yeah.
Because I think that she should be involved in this more so than us. And again, I'm sure she's probably not proud of the fact that this happened, but this is also a chance for her to kind of own up to it and say, I think this is how this should be responded to. It's a tough conversation to have, but I can give you an example. There's a TV show, Psych. There was a scene in that I really thought was a great scene, and it's one of our favorite shows.
Oh,
and in that show, there's a guy who pretends to be a psychic, Sean Spencer. So this is my way of answering a tough question. Let me just talk about a TV show. And his mom and dad got divorced when he was, a teenager, I suppose. And he never knew why, and he always blamed his dad. And now, many years later, in the show, he's an adult. He's in his 30s, I suppose. I don't know. And then he finds out the truth that his mother had an affair. And that whole entire time, he was angry with his dad, thinking his dad did something. Meanwhile, the truth was his mom did something. And he even said, why didn't you tell me? And it was because I you needed a mother, So he was basically saying, you could be mad at me. That's fine. So he kind of took the brunt of it. And again, when it comes down to something like this, it's going to be tough. And I don't know that you need to tell the kids all of the details other than that, we're going our separate ways.
I mean, they're going to find out on their own if she's still with the guy.
It doesn't say, it says that she had an affair. So it doesn't sound like she's leaving to go, take off and elope with somebody else. And again, he's saying that I still love her. She's a wonderful mother.
But I'm sure they can see, even just watching this whole thing go down, they're old enough that they're seeing what's happening. And they can see how I'm sure devastated you have been.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they know who the instigator is of the whole thing. You don't have to explain anything to them at this age. I think they kind of can figure it out on their own.
And even though in this story here, in this letter, he said, this is the first divorce in both of our families. I understand internally, first divorce your kids are going to deal with in your family. I guarantee you they have friends with divorced parents. They have classmates with divorced parents. I mean, it is rampant. It's all over the place. And I have been divorced. My beautiful bride, Heidi, over here, also been divorced. We're both married to each other, our second marriages. And, I've never shied away from that. I've never wanted to I don't want to tell people that, whatever, because it's part of my life. And it's also the path that led me to where I am today. So when it comes right down to it, I don't think I have a good answer. Do you have a good answer? He's basically saying, what do you think? Any advice on this one?
I wouldn't go there.
You don't think you'd say anything?
I think it'll make him look bad if he starts trashing his wife to them. And they'll, like I said, they're old enough. They'll figure it out on their own.
And here's what you could say. You could say, you know what? I love your mother. She's a wonderful mother. But it was time for us to, for us to go separate ways. She was a better mother than she is wife. We're good friends, and we're going to leave it at that. And there's a way to do this where you're not trashing her, but you're still also being honest. If you would like to chime in, you can do that at facebook.com/Jon and Heidi Show.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Women are attracted to the combined scent of Good and Plenty licorice candy and cucumber. So
I love both of those things.
Do you really?
So much. Yeah.
Come home, I'm rubbing cucumber on my neck, and Good and Plenty on my chest. What you doing? Just trying to get Heidi in the mood. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
It's a myth that people are either left-brained or right-brained. That's not really a thing. You're not left or right-brained. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In the 1870s, a city in Belgium tried to employ 37 cats as mail carriers. It did not work.
But not.
Where's my mail? One more fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
It is impossible to imagine a new color. Every color that's imaginable is already out there. You can't come up with a new color. That's kind of weird. We've got room for one more fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Dead people can get goosebumps. So, yeah.
That's a little creepy.
Yeah, it is a little bit creepy, and that gives me goosebumps. Several fun facts. Now, thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points or get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for the Mint Mobile question of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of mintervention.com. Heidi, a question for you. A survey of parents with kids under the age of 14 said this is their biggest challenge every day. What is it?
Getting kids out of bed.
Yeah, I think we just did that.
Yeah, we did.
Did we just have this question?
And I knew it then, too.
You did?
I did.
I feel as though...
Because I remember waking up our children.
Boo. Did we do all of this? Are we living in some sort of alternate reality today? I don't know. For whatever reason, I had the same. I think that was like 2 weeks ago I had that.
I don't know.
That's not good. I'm going crazy. Mint Mobile question of the day
This
comes
is one
your
of those
way.
signs that you're getting old.
That is, yeah. That was from a story earlier for those of you who missed that. Mint Mobile question of the day brought to you by mintervention.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by weirdgiftoftheday.com. Imagine that TikTok is in the weird news. A newer TikTok trend is to customize your Starbucks order so it tastes like a Vietnamese iced coffee. Yeah, some creators are giving tips on how to request a specialized version of this sweet caffeinated beverage called salt coffee. Or there's a way to say it in Vietnamese that I'm not even going to try. The treat is made by adding sweetened condensed milk to a base of Vietnamese coffee. It is then topped with salted cream and served hot or cold. The drink's inventor at a No Frills cafe in the city of Hue in Vietnam say the combination of the condensed milk, the salt, and the black coffee creates a creamy mixture that softens the bitterness of the coffee and balances the sweetness of the condensed milk.
I bet that would be amazing.
In Vietnamese,
actually.
the name café means coffee and muet means salt. So it's café muet.
I would
probably said
love
all
to
of it
try
wrong.
that.
Yeah, no.
We were just talking yesterday that I really like the sweet and salty.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Weird news brought to you by weirdgiftoftheday.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the list brought to you by bettercreditcards.com. We started this yesterday. It's from Jeff Beat, whatever that is. Jeff Bet, maybe I said it's from somebody. It came from somewhere, I promise. 200 most popular music artists from 2019 through 2023. And they went through to figure out who has the highest average ticket price. We did that list yesterday. So today, we're going to go through the most expensive artists per minute. I've got both lists in the show notes. So number 10, most expensive artist per minute, Morgan Wallen. His concert will cost you $1.39 per minute on average. Kendrick Lamar, $1.39, and Beyonce, $1.39. Now we bump up to 7th place. Blink-182 should be $1.82, but it's not. It's $1.53. Wouldn't it have been great if Blink-182 would have been $1.82?
It would have.
Would have just made the list. The Eagles came in 6th at $1.74. George Strait, $1.77. The Rolling Stones, $1.78. Drake, $1.81. Most expensive artist per minute. Number 2 is U2. They were the most expensive ticket. That was in yesterday's. They come in at $2.12 per minute. And Bruno Mars, who hit 5th place for the most expensive ticket yesterday, he is numero uno. He's number 1 at $2.19 per minute.
Huh.
And Taylor Swift was number 2 yesterday. She did not make the top 10 list today.
Huh.
You can see all of the details in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis by allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover? You can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
Time now for the quote of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of radiosavings.com. Our quote today is from Mae West. I always thought that she was just the funniest, and so many of her quotes are so great, like this: love conquers all things, except poverty and toothaches. Yeah, pretty much. I love that. That is a great quote. And I love those witty little quotes like that. These are my favorites. All right.
Yeah.
Quote of the day comes your way, courtesy of radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. Comes your way, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. Here's a headline, Heidi, from Georgia. EMS hero goes above and beyond for a grieving man after an accident. So this is really kind of a sad start to the story here. When tragedy struck Antonio Usher, he never imagined the length to which a team of EMS workers would go to provide comprehensive care. He was traveling with his wife on a motorcycle, and they were heading to Florida, and they were in a terrible crash, and his wife lost her life at the scene.
Oh my
Antonio
gosh.
was rushed to a hospital with many injuries, including a broken femur, a broken shoulder, and jarred intestines. The road to recovery was daunting. He needed to relearn how to walk and how to talk and how to live his new life. The EMS team at the hospital contacted his mother, who was requesting her son be brought closer to her home, was unable to advocate for himself due to his condition. Well, that is when these EMS directors, upon learning of the situation, coordinated with the staff and arranged for his paramedics to transport this gentleman back to where he lived, back to the area. Once back, Antonio spent 2 months at a hospital healing from his injuries, but the care and compassion of this team didn't end there. Along with the inpatient rehabilitation, the nurses, the manager, everybody there made special arrangements to transport him to his wife's funeral, which again, wonderful thing for him to be able to get there. Offering support during a profoundly emotional time. Said, when I was contacted about Mr. Usher's situation, it was really a no-brainer. Our mission is to extend the healing ministry of Christ. As part of this mission, Mr. Usher needed our services to help him heal and move toward feeling whole again. It was really a small gesture in the light of the tragedy that he had suffered. The EMS team was more than willing to do this for him. So this is just somebody that, again, is not just going to do a job 9 to 5. They're literally there to do what needs to be done and cared for this man in a way that, you know, you would want somebody caring for your loved ones. So I think that's great.
That is wonderful.
I've got a link to that story in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.